Hi, English students. This is Miss Newman, and I need us to focus on the Hamlet essay for today's lecture. Obviously, all of your topics are going to focus on the Hamlet play, and I have the link to the film on the content area Blackboard, and then also, essentially, you'll have to rent the movie. It's $2.99 to watch the film, but it's word for word the entire play. So I definitely recommend watching the film, and then if you would like, reading along in the Norton Anthology book. This type of essay argues a point of view about Hamlet, utilizing quotes and summaries of scenes as evidence. So you will need to either paraphrase specific scenes or quote from the play to argue your point, whichever topic you choose. There is a difference in quoting drama compared to prose. Instead of using a page number as your intake citation or a line number like how you would for poetry, you would use the act, scene, and line number for the play. And here's an example of Macbeth quoted with Act 3, Scene 3, lines 96 and 97. And definitely use this as a guide when you're doing those intake citations for quotations. So please let me know if you have any questions about how to do those intake citations for quotes. Notice the rough draft is going to be due Wednesday, April 20th by midnight, and it'll count as a daily grade attendance grade. And of course, you'll turn that into the discussion board so that we can do peer review on those rough drafts. The final draft will be due in content, and it's going to be due Wednesday, April 27th by midnight, and that'll also count as a daily grade and attendance assignment. This essay is worth 20% of your final grade. The essay should be at least 800 words in length, so that's the same length as that poetry essay for a good guide. It does count your works cited page or any quotations or intake citations that you include, so just to take that into account as well. But you must have it at least 800 words in length. There have been some students that have turned in shorter essays and their grades have been penalized because of that, so just make sure you at least get to 800 words. The formatting is 12-point times New Roman, double space with MLA heading and style. No surprises there. Most of you luckily have learned MLA heading through the course of the semester. You will have to have a works cited page with Hamlet cited, but the second page of this assignment has the citation created already to copy and paste into your essay. So I'll point out exactly what I'm talking about. This citation right here can go at the end of your essay, but remember it's the top of the last page. Some students have just copied and pasted it underneath the conclusion paragraph. So if your paper's 3 pages, this would be at the top of page 4, but make sure you include that works cited citation in your paper. You will not have any outside sources for this essay, and I'll explain why. I want to know your interpretation of the play, not just what you find online or what another person thinks about it. I want to know your own perspective on the play, on the characters, on the events that happen. So that's why I will not allow outside sources for this one. So make sure that you only cite the play itself and don't find anything online or any other outside sources. Please let me know if you have any questions about it as well. So I have a list of topics here, and of course they're all based off Hamlet. Just to emphasize again, this essay is only about Hamlet. I know some of you might have read Romeo and Juliet or Macbeth or Julius Caesar, some of the other plays in high school or in another class, but I want you to focus on Hamlet specifically since that's the one we're working on for this class. So here are some examples of topics. What symbols are there in Hamlet? Of course, the skull is a major symbol. Symbolizes death. The flowers that Ophelia covers herself with when she commits suicide are very symbolic of love and death. The poison is very symbolic of the idea that nothing is as it seems. A sword isn't just a sword. A drink isn't just a drink. A nap in the garden could kill you, because remember Claudius murders his brother when he's napping in the garden by poisoning him in the ear. So just know that there's a lot of symbols within the play, but if you were to focus on 3 symbols, that would be an easy way to structure a 5-paragraph essay, because you could do a symbol per body paragraph. So just to give you an example of how to structure an essay like this one. What is the conflict in Hamlet? There's so much conflict within Hamlet, but of course, one of the major conflicts is the murder of King Hamlet, Prince Hamlet's father. Which is why the ghost comes to him and tells him to seek revenge for his foul murder. So that's a major conflict. Of course, there's a conflict Ophelia has with her father and him demanding that she not speak to Hamlet. There's conflict between Denmark and Norway because Fortinbras of Norway conquers Denmark at the end. So there's so many obvious conflicts within the play, but just if you want to focus in on the conflict that you want to analyze, that's what that topic's about. You could choose a character in Hamlet and point out the character's motivation, what drives the character to action. Some of the more obvious characters to focus in on for that topic would be Hamlet, of course, is our main character. You could focus on his motivation of revenge. Ophelia is motivated by the men she loves, typically. Of course, her father was able to demand that she not see Hamlet, and she obeyed him. Hamlet manipulates Ophelia very easily as well. Laertes even has a hand in Ophelia's actions. So she's motivated by the people she loves most. And those actions of those people obviously lead to her passing because Hamlet murders her father and then she loses her mind as the result of that. So she's a very tragic character. There's several themes within Hamlet. You could pick one theme and point out how that theme drives the plot of the play. There's some pretty obvious themes such as revenge, ambition, pride, love. Those are some of the more obvious themes, but if you want to pick one theme and show how that carries out the plot of the play, how certain characters respond to that theme and the actions they do that lead to that being a major theme of the play. Ophelia's character changes throughout the play. Describe how the Ophelia the audience meets at the beginning of the play is much different than the one in the play's conclusion. What changes her? She is an example of what's called the fallen woman. Ophelia makes decisions that were deemed inappropriate in her time period. She falls in love for a man. They do take her virginity, and then she, as a result, has horrible consequences. And that's essentially it's a morality lesson for the audience. But she is obviously a very tragic character, and especially from modern readers' perspective, she's one of the most tragic characters because she goes from being a woman who has her whole life ahead of her and a man she loves to having her father murdered by the man she loves and losing her wits because of that. And so Ophelia is a very interesting character to analyze, especially if you responded to her in the film or as you're reading the play. The last topic option is there are characters that experience similar situations in Hamlet. To pick 3 characters and point out their similarities and their differences. This play focuses on death of fathers. Obviously, King Hamlet is dead even before the play begins. He was murdered before the play even starts. But then Prince Hamlet's reaction to his father's murder is very different than Ophelia's and Laertes' reactions to Polonius's murder. And so you could focus in on how those 3 characters react differently to that. There's other situations that are similar in that there's characters that all want to be king of Denmark. Of course, Claudius is willing to murder to become king after his brother. Hamlet wants to become king, and then also Fortinbras. So there's several situations that repeat and kind of cycle through the play. So I recommend definitely, if you do that one, if you need help organizing your ideas, please let me know. As always, there's 10 points off every day late, and all of your final drafts will be graded using the exact same grading rubric that we've used the entire semester, and it'll be scanned with anti-plagiarism software, so just make sure that the paper you turn in is your own original work. And there's a spot here for brainstorming and outlining if you like to take notes and write out your ideas before you get started. And like I said, don't forget to include this works cited entry. I've done it for you. So you literally just have to copy and paste it at the end of your essay. So please let me know if you have any questions about the play Hamlet, these topics, how you want to organize your ideas, anything whatsoever. I know this is a very complicated play. It's a very long play. Shakespearean English is certainly not easy to access as a modern reader. So if you have any questions whatsoever, I'm here to guide you through this essay. But just know this is our last essay of the semester for 102. We've got a final exam after this, but after this essay is turned in, you will be done with essays for 102. So you're in the home stretch. You've got this. Thanks. Bye.